Yo, 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 this is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt, Yardist Team Skull Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX. And guys, in this video, we discuss the very first sync pair. Or rather, first out of two because there are two sync pairs coming out on January 1 of 2024. In this video, we discuss New Year Clair and Drampa and see if she is worth your gems or not. We're gonna explore her good sides, her bad sides, and probably see if she's worth your gems or not. So with that, guys, there are 4 different sync pairs coming out in January. If you haven't seen it and if you prefer to watch or look at everyone from an overview standpoint, you can check out my 1 out of 5 or none out of 5 video where I discuss each one of these guys in brief. And while you're at it, you can check out how many gems we can get for the month of January. Both of these video links will be down there in the description, so check them out. But for the sake of this video, we're just going to discuss New Year Clair and explore her entire kit. So as a seasonal sync pair, she maxes out at 3 copies. So if you want to get her complete, get 3 copies and that's it. And as a seasonal sync pair also, you have 2 routes of scouting her. First is the free-to-play route where you can just use, well, normal non-paid gems, and if you get shafted, completely shafted, which hopefully not because it's the new year and, new year, new beginnings, new luck. It's 36,600 non-paid gems to go all the way to 400 scout points. But if you have paid gems, in stock, or if you wish to start spending money on the game and probably support the game on 2024, it costs 20,200 paid gems to guarantee you 1 copy of New Year Clair and Drampa. But 7,700 paid gems has a 25% chance of scouting for New Year Clair and Drampa on the Great Ticket Scout, which you get a Great Ticket after scouting 5 tiers in her tiered scout. Now, as a seasonal as well, you get 7% chance of scouting for a random 5-star sync pair and a 2% chance of being able to scout for this particular sync pair. So good luck if you're scouting. But let's start off with the timeline of events after this page, which I would like to thank all the members of my channel. So thank you everyone here for your kindness and generosity for keeping the channel alive. If you are part of my Discord server, I was ranting nonstop yesterday because my bosses at my work are changing. And so far, they have been very mean and are canceling again one of my stronger classes. And with each class that gets canceled, I lose a lot of revenue per month. So if you want to help me out, I got another class canceled on my birthday month too, which really sucks. You can help me out monetarily, financially by going to the join button down below. And maybe cheer me up, become a member of this channel, just like these awesome people up here. Thank you guys so much for your kindness and generosity. And if you want, you can also support me at coffee.com/splgum. And, just go there and maybe give me a coffee or something. But anyway, let's move on. So, let's start off with the timeline of events. Starting off January 1 again. January 1, we have 2 sync pairs. So it's not just New Year Clair, but also New Year Wallace. And I'm going to discuss New Year Wallace in another video. So stay tuned for that one. They are both ending on January 19. So you have until January 18 to scout for them. Now, on January 1, I'm not sure if it's January 1 or December 31, we will be getting New Year Gems special or something like that. I'm not sure how good they will be. There are the normal story event gem specials, which are very ordinary. And then there's the Master Fair gem specials / Pokemon Masters Days gem specials, which are pretty good. And there are special gem bundles, like for example, when Ash came out, Welcome Ash gem bundle or something, it's really, really good. I'm not sure if the New Year gem bundles will be Master Fair level or will be Ash level. And I'm hoping that it's Ash level gem specials, but we're gonna discover that when those gem specials come out. But again, gem specials require money to get them. So for the sake of, not spending money on the game, I will not elaborate any further on that one. But again, New Year Clair and New Year Wallace starts on January 1, ends on January 19. So you have until January 18 to scout. Iono is coming out on January 12 and ends on February 1. You have until January 31 to scout. And meanwhile, the last one is Grusha over here. Grusha is starting on January 22, and the last day you can scout is on February 10. So, one random note as we start talking about this one, I find it very weird for our splash screen, our title screen for Pokemon Masters to be featuring the original title screen with Pokemon Masters EX voices of either Nate or Rosa. And speaking of Rosa, I find it unfair for Rosa to have her splash screen, title screen, only 1 day. Or was it 2 days? Then it completely changed back to the normal title screen. Shout out in the comments if you agree with me. Her splash screen, her title screen only stayed for 1 to 2 days. Meanwhile, Nate stayed for a very long time. What the heck, DNA? But anyway, another side note, guys, you can get up to 6,000 gems. This is a brand new something from Pokemon Masters. Like, invite a friend, something, something, something. It's a little bit complicated. You have to have a friend who has not played the game yet. His or her account has not have to be like 1 month old yet, and has to play until chapter 3, and you'll have to get the support ID of yourself and your friend and input that. It's a pretty complicated process, but if you are looking for gems, you can get up to 6,000 gems by referring 20 of your friends. So go ahead to the Pokemon Masters Twitter page or X page if you want to know more about that. But just so you know, you can get up to 6,000 gems if you join that thing and invite your friends to play until chapter 3 and have them endure the pain of sharing their long support ID, which whatsoever. Anyway, so Clair is a support sync pair. And as you can see over in the screen, we have Clair, Iono, and Grusha as supports. We are getting 3 different support sync pairs in this update. And Clair is a support tech, just like Grusha over here is a support tech sync pair. And I'm not really a fan of support techs because supports are not known to dish out damage, a lot of damage. And techs multiply the damage of the sync move by 1.5 times. So if I were you, I will not be giving my tech roll cakes to either of these two, or at least to Clair, because I'd rather have my strikers get a tech roll instead. For this update, we don't get strikers with a tech roll, but in the past updates, like for example, Champion Red has a striker roll with a tech EX roll. He deserves the tech roll cake better than these things. I think there's another sync pair that has that, which is, if I'm not mistaken, whatchamacallit, what is the name of Barry's father again? Palmer. Normal Zone is a striker, if I'm not mistaken, has the Tech EX role as well. So I think they're more deserving, although Palmer does not have any... No one is weak to Palmer, but, strikers, this definitely better to get the Tech EX role rather than anyone else. And also, on December 31, we will be having reruns of Aura Cynthia, of Thunderbolt Red, as well as some paid scouts or paid select scouts. So maybe you want to invest those candies or roll cakes or something on them instead of these guys. So Thunderbolt Red will get the field EX roll. I heard from you guys in the comments that the passive skill does not exactly whatchamacallit, pile up with the field EX roll. So I'm not sure about that, but if that does not happen, well, that sucks, because why give Ash or why give Thunderbolt Red the EX roll? Well, he can bring in electric terrain several times already. So unless you want the extra stats, it's a little bit redundant to give him the field EX role. Meanwhile, Aura Cynthia gets the support EX role, which is deserving for her, which is nice. So, yeah, that's that. Meanwhile, you have one field sync pair over here in the form of an New Year Wallace. We're gonna discuss him in another video. But anyway, guys, those are the timelines, and we are moving on quickly. So Clair, if you see this background image, congratulations, you have successfully scouted for New Year Clair and Drampa. I can't stay in experience forever. Kind of weird for her to say, considering that she insists that she's the best dragon type master to everyone she meets. But anyway, guys, this is a support sync pair. And dragon type supports are not exactly that many. Yes, you have several. You have, for example, Drake and Salamence. If in the tip of my mind, Palentine's Mallow is a dragon type support, if I'm not mistaken. You have Signasuit Brendan and Latios is also a dragon type support, but there are not a lot of dragon type supports. And in my comment section, in one of my videos, you guys said, one of you said that, oh, I'm scouting for New Year Clair because I do not have a dragon type support, which is okay. Go ahead and scout. But let me just tell you guys that you don't need to have a specific type of a specific support. You know, supports have become very, very insanely good for the last several updates, and supports can be used regardless of type. Yes, it's nice to have a synergy, dragon. Your entire team is a dragon type, but you also can have supports. Like, for example, you can pair any dragon type, any other type with Champion Blue. And Champion Blue just destroys everything or just supports everything until the stage is destroyed. And if you do not have Champion Blue at 3 out of 5, I highly, highly encourage you to give Champion Blue those support coins, support move candy coins, because he is insanely good at 3 out of 5. And another support that's really, really good is Champion Rosa, which is still available right now. Very, very good. Can give you unlimited physical moves up next effect, special moves up next effect. Can recover herself through Curative Confusion. Can make the opponents fall asleep, 30% chance. Can raise stats. Can raise defenses. Can raise offenses. Can raise evasiveness. Can raise accuracy. Can debuff the opponent's stats at 3 out of 5, if I'm not mistaken, or it was 2 out of 5 with easy pickings. And a lot more with Champion Rosa. So with those supports in mind, what does Clair do? Twister. 2 move gauge hits everyone, 20% chance of making the opponent flinch. Nice. AoE chance of making the opponent flinch. She has aggravation 1, which raises the chance of making the opponents flinch later on her kit. So, raises the chance. AoE flincher, okay. But we have AoE flinchers right now. A lot of AoE flinchers too. Dragon Breath. 30% chance of leaving the opponent's one opponent paralyzed. Okay. Trainer move, X defense all. Raises everyone's defense plus 2. You can use this twice to raise everyone's defense plus 4. Your good 1 MP raises everyone's attack and special attack plus 2. Raises everyone's crit to max. Okay. Tries to become everything. Can raise everyone's defense to plus 4. Can raise everyone's attack and special attack plus 2. Max out everyone's critical hit rate. Sync move, no additional multipliers. Passive skills, interestingly. Team trainer move, team free move, next 9. Whenever you use a trainer move, everyone will have a free move next. So, for example, use X defense all, or probably you're good, then have every one of your sync pairs attack. No need for the move gauge, including yourself. Okay? And that means you can have your free move next 3 times by using 3 trainer moves without an MP refresh. Initial synchro healing 2. First sync move using Clair, everyone will recover 40% HP. Okay, that's not too bad. Palentine's Mallow has this as well, but that's not too bad. And then team takes hit from Pokemon Sync Max move, ignore weather terrain zone power up. If I'm not mistaken, this is currently the longest passive skill name. If not, then it is, there's another very, very long passive skill name. I think it's Oleana's passive skill name, or was it some other sync pair? But I think this is longer than than whatever that sync pair's passive skill name is. When you have a weather terrain or weather condition terrain or zone, including the opponent, if the opponent attacks you and it should be powered up by the weather terrain or zone, you will ignore the power up damage, which is okay for specific circumstances. Unless the opponent, or unless there's a weather's condition, terrain, or zone either brought up by yourself or the opponent, and by that, I can safely say that this thing, or this sync pair, will be probably effective against Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu loves to bring in grassy terrain and then have its attacks powered up by grassy terrain. And every time it uses a grass type attack, it will recover some health. By having Clair in your team, Tapu Bulu will still recover health, but its attacks, its grass type attacks, will not be powered by grassy terrain. And so goes for other opponents. Like for example, you have Dragon Zone active, and the opponent decides to use Dragon type attacks against you. You will not suffer the extra damage of Dragon type attacks. Some sync pairs like to use, you know, Ghost Wish / Ghost Zone and then suddenly follow up with a Ghost type sync move. If that's the case, you ignore Ghost Zone of the opponent. But if you decide to use Ghost type attacks after the opponents use Ghost Zone, your own attacks will be powered up. Not the opponent's though, only yours. So that's the advantage of having Clair in your team. Ignores weather terrain zone power when you take hit from the opponent's Pokemon move, sync move, or max move. But that aside, a very ordinary kit. She has pretty special defense at 300. Defense at 288 is typical. And if you 6-star EX her, her stats will go up to 300 something. But really specific sync pair. And if we compare her stats now, her kit now versus Champion Blue, or at least Champion Rosa, it's like nothing. AOE Flinch Twister, but AOE Discharge for Champion Blue plus free move next every single attack of Champion Blue. She can recover 40% HP, but Champion Blue can use his something roost to recover health twice for every single teammate and give everyone regen effect plus cure yourself of status conditions. And a lot more. Plus, you can debuff the opponent non-stop with Champion Blue if you have him 3 out of 5. Meanwhile, if we compare her with Champion Rosa AOE opponent sleep, also 30%, I think, of making the opponents fall asleep. This one, only 20% chance of making the opponent flinch. So a lot of if we compare her with the recent supports that we have, she's not exactly that great. Yes, she's good for some purposes, but she's not great as far as we can see. Except for that free move next, which you can bring in twice or 3 times. And those things. But maybe her grid will save her. Let's check it out right now. 1 out of 5, you get Unbending. Defense cannot be lowered. Nah. 2 out of 5, Dragon Breath Hostile Environment 1. Dragon Breath, instead of making the opponent paralyzed 30%, you have a 60% chance of making the opponent paralyzed. And what's the purpose of paralyzing the opponent? Well, 3 out of 5. Hit paralyze opponent, HP recovery 9. Every single time you attack a paralyzed opponent, you get to restore HP. Okay, you get to restore HP for yourself, that is. Which is okay, not too bad. Back to 2 out of 5, Grass Guard, Panic Button, Quick Cure, Revenge Boost for every single time you get hit. You 50% chance of restoring your move gauge plus 1. Your good team hit and heal. Gives everyone gradual healing effect when you use your good. Which again, your good raises everyone's attack and special attack plus 2. And maxes out everyone's critical hit rate. This is good if we can get that on her sync grid, which we will discuss later. 3 out of 5, all ramp up 1 Berserk Bunch 1. So instead of just raising your attack and special attack plus 2, this time, every single time you use a move, and I think this happens with every single attack or move that you do. So if you use Dragon Breath, if you use Twister, if you use Trainer Move or something, every single time you raise everyone's attack / special attack plus 1. That's good. That's good. First Aid 4, when you're low on HP, restore 40% HP. Half HP, restore MP once 9. If you get this, once you reach half health, you get to restore 1 MP for every one of your trainer moves. That means X defense all, as well as your good, which maxes out your defenses and your special attack, and your attack stat instead of plus 2 becomes plus 4. Team Fist Bump 3, every single time you attack an opponent, has a 40% chance of recovering every single one of your teammates' health. Twister Aggravation 1 doubles the chances of flinching the opponent from 20% becomes 40% chance. And then Weather Terrain Zone Change, team moves up to. When there's a weather terrain or zone in your team, in the field of play rather, it will power up everyone's moves or everyone's attacks by 20%. If I'm not mistaken, this only applies to normal attacks and your buddy moves. I don't think this applies with sync moves. I don't think this applies with max moves, but I might be wrong. But I don't think it applies with those. So it just powers up your allies' moves if you have a weather terrain or zone in effect. Plus 2 sync power-up tiles. So she has a lot to do with terrain, zone, weather things. But take note that she herself cannot bring in weather, terrain, zone. She cannot bring in weather, terrain, or zones. You have to have another sync pair to do that. She cannot bring it herself. Take note of that. All right, let's talk about the sync grid options right now. So here is my grid option for, and this is probably the option that I will go for when I have her in my team. So I got Twister Aggravation 1 because who doesn't want AoE flinching of the opponent? I got Team Fist Bump 3 because I'll be spamming Twister, 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 and hoping for that recovery of HP as well as making the opponent flinch. I will be using Dragon Breath at least once with Hostile Environment 1 just to make the opponent, at least one opponent, paralyzed, so that if the opponent is paralyzed, every single time I attack it using Twister, I get to recover some health with hit paralyzed opponent HP recovery 9. And by spamming Twister, I'm hoping again for that HP recovery from Team Fist Bump 3, from hit paralyze opponent HP recovery 9. And yeah, that's the way to do it. And I have over here half HP recover or restore MP once 9 so that I can raise everyone's attack and special attack to +4 instead of +2, as well as raise everyone's defense to +6. And this is the option that I would go for again. But again, earlier I was discussing her grid options, her grid tiles, and we got a Berserk Bunch to maximize everyone's attack stats, and an all ramp up one to max out everyone's special attack stat. And as you can see over here, they are in the completely opposite and furthest tiles of the grid, which means we cannot get them. And there's this weather terrain zone change team moves up to, so that we can get to increase our damage if there's a weather terrain zone, just in case you have a teammate that does that. And a trainer move team hit and heal, which is also very significant. But again, these are the only things available to us in our energy level. Now, how do we get Berserk Bunch and all ramp up 1? Here's another option. We got Berserk Bunch 1 over here. We got Panic Button 1 because Grass Guard, I think, is not that. It's very, very specific to certain situations. I prefer Panic Button instead. But honestly, I do not like these 2 tiles. I wish that they will be gone and replaced with First Aid 4 instead. And then we got All Ramp Up 1, Team Hit and Heal, and Weather Terrain Zone Change team moves up 2 over here. So this is my tile or my grid to power up my teammates. Not focusing on flinching, not focusing on recovery, not focusing on anything else, but to just power up my teammates, which is a compromise. But can we get both recovery and power up? This is my last option for you guys. We got Team Fist Bump 3, Aggravation 1. I think these are non-negotiable. Negotiable, at least for Twister Aggravation 1. We got an all ramp up 1 here. A Weather Terrain Zone Change. A Trainer Move, Team Hit and Heal. And that's a nice compromise. Instead, and if you want Berserk Bunch instead, well, we can probably remove this and try to get this. Not enough energy. We have to remove something. I have to remove Twister Aggravation, which I do not want to remove Twister Aggravation. I have to remove something. I want my You're Good team hit and heal. I cannot do that. I can't do that. So, I have to sacrifice something. Not enough energy. Not enough energy. So it's either you go for all ramp up 1 or go Berserk Bunch 1 and just sacrifice some important tiles over here. But those are the options I have for you guys. But again, sync grid options are unlimited. You can play around with this one. I'm just disappointed that you cannot get the best tiles set up for her because of her limited energy and her super far separated tiles. And so guys, that is New Year Clair and Drampa. And as I can say right now, a lot of trying hard for New Year Clair. Trying to be a sprint, trying to be a support, trying to be a flincher, trying to, be a tech, paralyze the opponent, trying to be a healer, but at the same time, jack of all trades, master of none. So, again, if you want a dragon type support, yes, sure, go for it. Go scout for Clair and Drampa. But as of the moment, from what we can observe in her kit, from her grid, from everything, she's not that great. As a texting pair, definitely not. No sync move multipliers whatsoever. Your tech roll cake coin will be completely wasted on her. Unless, Clair is your favorite sync pair and you want to power her up all the way. Go ahead, by all means. Go make her as strong as possible. But as of the moment, I would rather you guys scout for Champion Rosa instead if you want a support. A good support, Champion Rosa will be much better than New Year Clair. But, you know, that's my advice for you guys. You don't have to follow me. Scout for your faves instead of the meta. Again, good sides. Jack of all trades. Sprinter, support, flincher, paralyzer, recovery. Although you can only recover once using her. And the rest is RNG. As well as making the opponent paralyzed to recover yourself. But overall, other sync pairs, especially Champion Rosa, might be better in the long run. And you might want, you know, she's very situational. Again, probably you will benefit from that weather terrain zone. Ignore the opponent's powered up something, something, something. But most of the time, that will not even matter. So, that is the bad side of New Year Clair. And the bad side, with all the supports that we have, with Aura Cynthia coming out tomorrow, and with, if you're watching this as a, you know, when the video is released, that is, and with Champion Rosa still active, compare her with the other supports, she is not that great. But that aside, that is New Year Clair for you. And on the next video, we will be discussing if New Year Wallace falls under the same mediocre sync pair level as New Year Clair. So with that said, guys, thank you for watching. This is the end of my good versus the bad video for New Year Clair and Drampa. If you guys appreciated and enjoyed the content, make sure you hit the thumbs up and let me know in the comments section if you are scouting for New Year Clair and Drampa. And as well, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe because these contents are coming your way in a regular basis. And if you want to support the channel, you can go ahead and click on the join button down below and join these awesome people who supported me. For 3 years, thank you Shadow Phil and Alcin. For 2 years, Roy, Luca, and Jeremy. For 1 year, Iwis, Kosei, Tatsuya, Gold, Apsaras. And my Great Ball tier members, Yuki, Sophia, and my Pokeball tier member, Pokefriendo. Thank you guys so much for your support. I hope to see more of you and hope you guys keep supporting me, especially as I go through this tough work times. And I hope that work improves. My bosses behave themselves because removing classes, removing my strong classes, I do not understand why they're doing that. By the way, I'm a yoga teacher, just so you guys, if you guys are curious. I teach yoga. If you guys want private classes, let me know because I am in dire need of money right now, especially on my birthday. And especially since I just bought a new computer to make better videos because my old computer was really dying and I need to pay my bills. So help me out, guys. And a huge shout out goes to my gifters. Thank you guys so much, Iwis, Kosei, for continually supporting my channel with gift memberships. If you guys want to receive gift memberships, YouTube told me that they will give me 5 gift memberships to give away on January 1. Let's see if that's true. And if you guys do, watch my stream and I'll be giving 5 gift memberships away. Or maybe on my birthday. Maybe on my birthday instead. That will be more fun. Who knows? But anyway, guys, that is it. And go ahead to my coffee page. I updated that goal to birthday blessings. My birthday is coming out on January 16. If you want to share your blessings, go ahead and go to coffee.com/splgum and support me. That's aside. I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. The artist Team Skull Grunt. I will see you in the next video.